Hey guys, BishopButters here, bringing you a more in-depth tutorial. Let me get that little Skype box off screen. A little more in-depth of a tutorial on the Companion Closeness system, which I did in the previous previous tutorial. Anyway, it was a bit hard to follow since I was using my own personal project, and I already had every variable and everything set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this step by step. The absolute first thing you're going to want for this is preferably multiple companions. Using a blank Ace project, I'm just using Eric, Natalie, and Terrence. So that way you have a couple of different characters to choose from. Now, in this, obviously you need an in-depth knowledge of variables, conditional branches, witches, and all that fun stuff. And there are multiple ways you can go about changing your companion's closeness, through story-driven events, which is what I have for this guy up here, or random little events like these guys. Now, it does take a little bit of work and a bit of an understanding, but once you understand how to do it, you can do a lot of different things with this sort of system. Now, none of these guys are evented yet, and obviously I didn't work on the mapping at all, but hopefully I can get this so that you guys understand it a little bit more. Now, in this, you're going to want to make sure you set variables for everyone's companion closeness value. Obviously, if you don't already know, variables are the means by which this game will store a specific value for something and then use it later. So for example, let's go to books. This is what I named this guy. So when you interact with him using the trigger, which is the action button, automatically the first thing you should do is go to control variables. And obviously you need to make your variables, and this is where you're going to do it in the variable screen. Now in the first variable, we saw that one of our companions was Natalie, so we're going to go with nat cc. What this variable will do, it will store the variable for her cc. Now, when you first start it, if you just set it to 0, then nothing will happen. In order for it to be tracked throughout your game and for you to reuse it constantly, you need to go to the operand, which is what this variable will be based off of, and you go to variable and nat cc. So that way, whenever Natalie's CC, her companion closeness, goes up, it will then be tracked. For example, if she already has 10 CC, by setting this so the operand is a variable, this event will then read her variable as 10. If she doesn't already have CC, it will read as 0. However, if you just set this to constant 0, even though she had already gained CC in a previous interaction, then in that situation, she would not have any CC, and you would lose the benefit of accruing CC over time, which is why you absolutely need to make sure you set the initial variable in every event to the variable, so that way its value is set at the start. Now, as you can see, this is called books for a reason. Let's just say Natalie is a bookworm, and she likes when you read a book. So we're just going to go ahead and make this nice and pretty. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to because I want to. For example, would you like to read a book? There we go. I better set my Skype to busy, actually, because someone's probably going to want to message me soon. Get off there. Do not disturb. There we go. And then, obviously, in most instances, you will need to use choices. Yes or no. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Now, when you select yes, I would like to read a book, you want to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, but you also need to make sure you have switches in place, but I'll explain that later, goddammit. Now, when you say yes, she likes that, so you need to make sure the operation is set to add, and you add it to whatever you want. I'm using increments of 1 since it's easy to track. Boom. Which basically means when you read this book, her CC will go up by 1. If you select no, then nothing will happen, goddammit. Keep doing the wrong thing. Anyway, now what you could also do in this situation is you could also make it so your other companion's CC goes down when you read a book. For example, if he doesn't want you to read a book, maybe he wants you to go drinking. So, yeah. But, long story short, if you leave it as is, just like this, then, overall, every time that she wants to read you read a book, I can't speak well today, every time you read a book, she'll gain CC, which is not what you want. You want to make sure it's only in certain instances. And the best way you could possibly do that is through a switch and a conditional branch. If you don't know what a conditional branch is it checks a condition first and acts upon it. If that condition is not present, it does something else. Now, the easiest way to use it is with variables and switches, and we're going to use a switch here. And this switch will be nat gain, which means she has gained CC. Here we are. Which means when this variable is on, she won't gain CC. Now let's just cut this out and paste it into the else. So when you've already gained CC, let's just say, where is she? I don't remember. I don't really care which one it is. Let's just say, yay, you're reading. I also cannot type. Probably should do a typing class. Anyway, so yeah, if she's already gained the CC, the only thing that'll happen is she'll say, yay, you're reading. If she hasn't, let me just do this the nice and easy way. Let's go ahead and copy and paste this. There we go. Yeah, you're reading, but this time she gained CC, and in order to make it so that you don't have her gain CC consistently all the time, you have to make sure to set this, the switch you set in the beginning, to on. So there you go. This is the simplified version of it. First, you set the variable to what it is, and then you give the character a choice. And then in the choice you throw a conditional branch if it does what you want. For example, if you want to read a book, it runs a conditional branch. And that conditional branch, it checks to see if the switch nat gain is on. If it is on, she just compliments you on reading. If it's not already on, she compliments you on reading, she gains 1 point to Companion Closeness, and it turns on the switch, preventing her from gaining additional Companion Closeness. If not, let's just go ahead and say, boo-hoo. Even though it says boo-ho, but I don't care. It's not important to make this look good, it's just important for you guys to understand. Now, what you want to do here is you want to like show text saying, Nat likes that, if I can type, oh god, that you're reading. Nat's CC increased to, and then this is where it gets a little tricky again. You need to hit \V, and the variable is 001. So, oh, it needs to be in those, not brackets. So as you can see in the preview, boom. And now we hit apply, and let's just go ahead and quickly playtest this. Yeah, sure, why not save the project? Let's just go to New Game. And as you can see, I think I accidentally disabled dashing. Anyway, damn it. Would you like to read a book? Ah, boo-hoo. Would you like to read a book? Yay, you're reading. Nat likes that you're reading. CC increased by 1. Would you like to read a book? Yes. Yay, you're reading. There you go. That shows you that there's only one instance where she could gain CC from this particular event. And that's all you need to know from that one. Now, for the other companion, you do pretty much the same exact thing. You need to control variables and make a new one for him, and that would be, let's go with tear CC. There we are, for Terrence. And then obviously do the same exact thing. You need to set it to his variable in order for it to save. I'll promise you I'll tie this all in at the end. Now let's say we show text for this guy, this person. Can't remember which person there we are. Would you like a stiff drink? There we go. And then obviously you're going to show choices again. Again, this is just one like you can do it so that completing quests increases Companion Closeness or anything else, but this is just a simple explanation. Again, when no fun. There we are. Yeah, I know I'm a slow typer, but I've got the microphone right in front of me and it sort of obscures me. And then again, you throw a conditional branch into the place of the thing, and then you need to make one more switch called tear gain. There we are. And then when that switch is on, awesome get plastered. There we go. And then when it's not on, again, might as well do this the easy way and copy it and then paste it. And then you go to control variables, set add, plus 1 to Terrence's CC. And then show text. Ter likes that you're wasted. Ter's, oh, I should probably put that in the Ter's CC increased to, and then again slash V, and then the number of his variable, which would be 002. And then if you preview that, you see that it goes like that. Okay. Now, this guy right here, when you go to him and select that you want to read a book, Natalie's CC will increase by 1. When you go to him and say you want to drink, Terrence's CC will increase by 1. If I wanted to, I could also set it so that these guys are opposites. For example, reading a book makes Terrence's CC go down, whereas having a drink makes Natalie's CC go down. You can also tie it together with different events so that these guys will no longer, like for example, you take a drink, this guy won't offer to have you read a book. If you read a book, he won't offer to give you a stiff drink. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm just doing the basics here. And here, like, we have a story-driven event. Now I'm just gonna put like insert huge decision here. Basically, let me hit the right button there. There we are. Insert huge decision here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do show choices, and I'm going to select wait for the third one and choose that as the disallow. And then let's go with aggressive or cautious. Again, not very detailed or interesting, but it works for the purposes. Oh yeah, before I forget, in this you need to make sure, again, since both characters are going to be introduced into this one, that you need to go control variables, set it to Natalie CC, and set. And then you need to do that again, but this time for Terrence. So control variables again. Terrence's CC is set to Terrence's CC. There you go. There you go. So, say that you went to the other one, and you got 1 CC from it, but Terrence did not get any CC, only Natalie did. Her value would be 1 for this, and his would be 0. If you both got CC, it would be 1. Now, insert huge decision here. When you select wait, nothing happens. Aggressive, Ter approves, boom, and then cautious, show text, Nat approves. Alright, now in order to do this again, you need to make sure you have switches set, and you're going to need different switches from last time, otherwise the other switches will turn themselves off, which is not a good thing. So, when you select the aggressive one, let's go to conditional branches, Ter gain, let's go with aggressive. There we are. When that switch is on, wait a minute. Oh yeah, this is a story-driven event. We don't need all this crap, because story-driven events you usually wind up deleting or going into a new event with a self-switch anyway, which is actually what we're going to do, since that makes things so much simpler. Anyway. And this one's going to be self-switch A. Okay. So when Terrence approves, no. You're going to go to control variables. Terrence's CC is up by 1. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that and paste it over here, and then just edit the variable. There we go. So as you can see, whichever one you choose here, their companion closeness will go up by 1. Now, what you need to do in order to make it so that you get passive bonuses is you need to make sure you have set numbers. So, conditional branch, and then switch, and this one's in Terrence's, so you need the conditional branch set to a variable this time. And this particular branch is for Terrence, so you need it set to Terrence's variable. Now, in order for this to be as accurate as possible, you want to set this to equal to, or greater than, or equal to. So, for example, Terrence will go, for example, if Terrence's companion closeness is equal to or greater than 1, something will happen. If it's not, nothing will happen. And then you can go ahead and copy that and paste that over here, and then just switch the variable to Natalie. There you go. So basically what this does, to recap, is when you go into this event, it sets Natalie's and Terrence's variables to their variable's value. Then it inserts a huge decision. When you select the aggressive one, Terrence approves, increases his CC, and then starts a conditional branch. And same thing with Natalie, except increases her CC. Now, if his CC is greater than or equal to 1, it's just going to say, for example, Ter has grown fond of you. Max HP increased by, let's go ahead and say 50. And then you would go into here and obviously change that. If you don't know how to change that, there are plenty of basic eventing tutorials, so let's just go to change HP for Terrence and 50. Boom. Okie dokie. Now, and then after that you want to make it so that it switches off into a different event so that it doesn't always repeat, so boom. Now, copy and then paste. So this will only happen if his CC is greater than or equal to 1. If it... Wait, no. It needs to be greater than 1. 2. There we go. That's what I was doing. I knew I was doing something wrong. Both of these need to be equal to 2 since they can both gain 1 CC. So there we are. If his companion closest is greater than or equal to 2, his HP will go up by 50% and it will switch off. If not, then let's just go ahead and insert text. Is Ter approves Ter's CC increased to, again, \V 002, boom. And then it switches off. And grown more fond increased by that, and you can set it to say how much his CC is increased to. This is the more complicated part, doing the passive bonuses and with the conditional branches and the variables. I'm trying not to go too fast here, so let me recap one more time. I know this might be getting a little bit old. Anyway, starts off by setting Natalie's variable to her variable. Sets off by setting Terrence's variable to the variable. Insert huge decision, text. If you choose aggressive, Terrence approves, increases his CC by 1. If his CC is greater than or equal to 2, his HPs will increase by 50% and switch the event off. However, if it's not, it'll just increase his CC. And then you can do the same thing for Natalie right here. And then we'll just go to and copy this, paste, and then copy, paste, copy, and paste. And instead, you can go ahead and edit this so that it says Nat instead of Ter. Make it nice and easy. And also very consistent, and then just switch this so that the actor is Natalie. Boom. Apply. And then what you do is you copy this in the else, and then paste that here, edit, so that it's Nat instead, so again you don't accidentally get the wrong thing in there, and then switch this variable number, not to 12. Okay. And then, obviously, you need that self-switch one more time, and then boom. There we go. When wait, nothing happens. So, this does the exact same thing for Natalie as it does for Terrence. So, there we go. Let me hit apply there, and we can look over this one more time, just so you guys know. First, you set a variable to your actor's companion closeness, so that it's equal to what the variable is. So, let's say Natalie went over to this guy, and we got companion closest up 1 for her, but we didn't go over here. That would make Natalie's companion closest 1 and Terrence's 0, which means if you do the thing that Terrence approves of, you won't get the increased health, but if you do the thing that Natalie approves of, you will. There we go. Now, also, what you could do for this is you can do this and copy this, apply, and then switch it over here, where if you don't have this switch on, let's go ahead and actually delete this stuff. And then paste. As you can see, what I just did there was I made it so that if you went to the story-driven event and did that first and then came back here and did this second, you could still gain the companion closeness from it. So as you can see, if the switch is already on, boom, nothing happens. If that happens, a conditional branch will play out. But first, you want to make sure that you put the switch back there, since I was an idiot and turned that switch off. Dum 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 dum. There we are. Okay, so if the switch isn't on, the switch turns on, runs the variable, conditional. If the variable is greater than or equal to 2, increased. If not, approves, boom. And then again, go ahead and do that over here, copy this, go over to the bookworm over here, and then we're going to delete this, this, and then paste. Boom. Copy and pasting for the win. So again, what this does is this particular one only works for Natalie. Read a book. If the switch is on, yeah, you're reading. If the switch is not on, turns the switch on, runs the conditional. If she has more than 2 in her variable, her health increases. If it doesn't, she just gets increased CC, which I actually forgot to put in there. Yeah, I deleted the increased CC. Wow, what's wrong with me? I was wondering what was happening. There we are, not CC increased by 1. There we are. So, her CC here will increase by 1. If it's greater than 2, blah. If not, blah. Actually, I forgot to see if I did that for the other side. No, I did not. I forgot to put that in there as well. Control variables, Terrence's CC increased by 1. Oh, darn. I think for the other one, I forgot to put it to add and not set. That's a huge mistake. Hang on. Yeah, okay, good. That is set to add. And are these set to add as well? Yep, I think they are. Okay, good. You want to make sure you set those to add and not set, because setting it resets the variable. Adding actively increases the variable, it doesn't set it to anything. Okay. So, let me play test this again. Boop. Alright. So, what we're going to do here is we are going to go to the bookworm again. There we are. Would you like to read a book? Nat approves. Would you like to read a book? Yeah, you're reading. Anyway, now we go over here. Insert huge decision here. Cautious. Nat approves. Has grown fond of you. Increase it. HP. And as you can see, can't talk to you anymore since I did the self switches. Now, let's go ahead and reset this and play test it all over again. Fun, right? There we go. I really got... There we are. Dash. Anyway, would you like to read? Nat approves. Now we're going to do the aggressive thing here. Insert huge decision. Aggressive. Increase this CC by 1. Now let's go over here and drink some. There you go. Tara's grown fond of you. See, now what I did was you can do these in any direction you want. Now let's go over back here. Would you like a drink? Sure. Nothing happens. You don't gain CC. Would you like to read a book? Sure. Yeah, you're reading. Nothing happens. Again. So as you can see, that works out quite perfectly. I meant to actually exit the game. So, what am I doing? Oh god. In conclusion, over here, at the start of each event where you want a companion's closeness to increase or decrease, you need to make sure whichever companions are going to be afflicted, whether it's 1, 2, or all of them, that you set their variables equal to their variables. So that way, whatever value you have in that variable is saved and stored. And then when you go through it, you want to make sure to run a conditional branch with a switch so that it can turn itself off. So that with this switch, Nat gain is on, she won't gain anything. If that switch is not on, it turns the switch on and gives her 1 to the variable. If she has 2 in her variable, then her health will go up by 50, and I actually don't need this in this event. If it does not equal 2, it will just increase her CC by 1. Boom. And again, for this one, same thing. We're only testing one character here, which is Terrence. So you set his CC to the variable value, so that way, again, it's saved. Set the switch to Terrence gain. If it's on, you get plastered. If it's not on, he gains 1 to the variable, and the switch turns on. And if the variable is greater than or equal to 2, he'll gain 50 health. If it's not greater than or equal to 2, he'll just increase his companion closeness. And then in the story-driven event, since we're taking care of 2 characters, you need Natalie's CC and Terrence's CC each set to their individual variables. Then in the choices, you need to make sure that in this situation, you can only gain the CC for 1 character, so you have to choose which one you would like. So, in this one, say you take the aggressive approach, Terrence will grow fond of you, and his CC will increase. If his CC is 2, obviously his health will increase. If it's not, nothing will happen, it will just end the event. If you take the cautious approach, Natalie will improve, Natalie's CC will go up, it'll run the event for Natalie, and she'll gain health and end the event, otherwise she'll just gain CC and end the event. Whew. I think I explained it as well as I possibly could. If you still have any confusions, feel free to message me on YouTube, or go to the RPG Maker VX Ace forums and message me there, or feel free to leave a comment, leave your own video response if you're having issues or have found a more efficient way of doing this. Anyway, without further ado, this has been BishopButters signing off. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to me, and make sure to leave me a comment, guys. Remember those 3 pictures up there? They are links, one to Pokemon, one to FTB, Minecraft, and the other one's to my channel. Click them if you want to, and I sure hope you do. Anyway, have a nice day, guys.